No funny intro today, guys, unfortunately, as I'm all by myself for today's reviewing your underwater films. Coming up. Hey there, underwater filmmakers, welcome back to another episode of reviewing your underwater films. As always, great to see all your smiling faces. As you can see, I am all by myself today. Sebastian couldn't make it for today's episode. So I have brought another friend with me today because I just don't like being all alone during these reviewing sessions, so I got my red Komodo set up here on the table with me. Now, funny story by the side here, as I was in the Maldives just recently on a scouting trip and just collecting some footage. The dive center, Scuba Divine Maldives, the guys from that dive center that I dived with during my time there, they really wanted me to have a name for the Red Komodo system. I never really thought about giving the system a name, to be quite honest, but they insisted on coming up with a name. So together we came up with the name Mr. Tiny for my Red Komodo system. So that's what it's gonna be called from now on, and Mr. Tiny is gonna be just giving me some company on during today's video. I don't really know how much of a use he's gonna be in discussing today's video and giving some inputs to that, but at least I'm not gonna be all alone reviewing that video. Now, talking about today's video, we have a video today that was submitted by Ann Keller, and she writes here that it is a 2-minute video that she had submitted to the first Houston Underwater Film Festival a couple years ago. And she was thrilled to have the film shown along with videos from Howard and Michelle Hall or Jean-Michel Cousteau. Wow, so you've really set the bar of expectations quite high here, Anne, and I'm really curious to see that video. So with no further ado, let's just jump straight into that video, watch it, and talk about it afterwards, shall we?
The deeps have music, soft and low. When winds awake the airy spry, it lures me on to go and see the land where corals lie. By mountain mead, by lawn and rill, when night is deep and moon is high, that music seeks and finds me still, and tells me where the corals lie. Yes, press my eyelids close, 'tis well, but far the rapid fancies fly, to rolling worlds of wave and shell, and all the lands where corals lie. Thy lips are like a sunset glow, thy smile like a morning sky. Yet leave me, let me go, and see the land where corals lie.
When Richard Garnett penned this poem 160 years ago, the deep sea, a previously unknown realm, was becoming the subject of a new wave of scientific exploration. The reverence and awe reflected in his poem are timeless, but sadly the corals may not be. I offer the following verses as a postscript. Your riches spoiled and plundered for near a century, species lost from avarice and apathy, this cannot be denied. Hold fast this veiled aquatic realm of mystery, and let me see the land where corals lie. So fragile is thy life within, from fathoms deep I hear you sigh, endangered by the acts of men. Protect this land where corals lie.
Alright, thank you so much, Anne, for submitting this quite unique piece here to the series and letting me review it. I don't think we've ever received such a piece here using a poem as the main part or the backbone of the film, and then supporting imagery to transport your message. And I think it is a really important message that you bring across here. Obviously that we have to take care better of our oceans so that they can stay healthy, hopefully, for a very, very long time to come. I've written down a couple of things that I'd like to pass on to you. First of all, I think it is a very innovative idea to use such a poem to create a film around it. I'm not much of a poet myself, and sometimes because I'm not English native speaking, I do have some understanding problems every now and then with these poems, because they are oftentimes written in an older language. But nevertheless, I think it is a nice idea to use something like this. And this can be also helpful for everyone else watching out there. If you look at the footage that Anne was using as supporting footage for the poem, then most of that footage is, it's good footage, it's nice footage, it's proper footage, but it's not, mind-blowing footage. Maybe with a few exceptions. Maybe the manta ray, maybe the shark footage that we saw towards the end. They're really nice. They're sort of outstanding amongst all the other clips that we've seen inside this video. But most of the clips, they're pretty easily taken. It doesn't really take much to be able to capture those clips. So by having actually a proper idea, and here we get back into the storytelling part, having a proper idea, which in this case is to use the structure of the poem and the content of the poem to collect footage that reflects and shows what the poem is talking about, makes it quite easy to get a nice complete little piece here. Not saying that it was easy to put this together. I think you've put a lot of thought in there, Anne, but I don't think that you had to, go out of your way to capture some mind-blowing footage to be able to create this piece. And that's a message that I want to pass on to everyone out there. The footage that you're using for your videos doesn't always have to be, the best footage that you've ever taken. If it matches and fits with your story that you're telling, then the footage can really be just okay. That's in my opinion one of the big differences between underwater photography and underwater videography. If we're talking about photography, then you've only capturing that split second, and the photo really has to blow your mind to be a really good photo, right? But with video, if you're creating a whole video, then you only need a couple of shots that are, exceptional, and the rest is just going to be supporting your story, and doesn't really have to be mind-blowing or exceptional, as long as it's properly taken and helps you transport your message that way. Right, so the shots were all nice, they were all properly exposed. It was a good composition on the shots. One thing that I noticed though was that some of the shots were quite shaky, rather on the shaky side. So maybe think about using some post-production image stabilization to just get these shots a little more stable. And there was only one more thing that I've noticed, and that was the color matching of individual clips. Now, if you look at the first part of your video where you were reciting the poem, all these images, all these clips, they matched quite well. But then if we looked at the second part of the clip, then you had some mixed up images and color temperatures in there. You had the shark, which had a different color temperature than, for example, the coral reefs that you were showing towards the end. And I think it's perfectly okay if you have a different color temperature towards the end, but then I would try to keep it uniform within that end section of your video. So you can definitely have a separate color temperature and the look for the first part and a separate one for the second part. But even within that second part, there was discrepancies when it comes to the color temperature and the matching of the individual clips that you had in that second part. So that's another tip that I would probably work on for your next video production, your next underwater video production there, Anne. That's pretty much all I've got to say for this video. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Anne, again, for submitting this video and giving myself and hopefully everyone out there a little bit of inspiration. I've never really thought about using a poem as a structure to a underwater video, but maybe I'll look into that at some point in the future as well, because I really enjoyed watching your submission here today. So thanks again for that. I'm obviously going to be linking Ann's channel. It's not a YouTube channel, it's a Vimeo channel. I'm going to link that down in the video description below, so you can go over there and say hi and look at the other content that Ann has got on her Vimeo channel. And if you guys have a film that you would like me, hopefully with Sebastian by my side again next time, to review it here within this series, then feel free to send me the link to the uploaded video to contact@matthiaslebo.com, and we'll be more than happy to watch and review it within this series here. Please do keep in mind that we still have about a 6 to 8 month wait period from the time you submit your video until it gets reviewed and published here on the channel, simply because we can only do one video per week, and it's just as many these many submissions that we've got in the pipeline. But there is a way how you can get around the waiting time. If you don't want to wait for that long, you can become a member of my YouTube channel, sign up for the underwater filmmaking or underwater filmmaker membership, which is gonna prioritize your submission, so we'll watch it right away and publish it right away here on the channel. The way to do this is by clicking the button just below this video which says become a member, and that will lead you through the process there. At the same time, you're going to be supporting this channel, making us capable of keep continuing making these videos here for you guys. So we really appreciate any of the support that we can get through you that way. So that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for watching and for your time. As always, if you've enjoyed today's video, if you've got something out of it, please do not forget to hit that like button and also consider subscribing if you haven't yet, so you're not missing out on any of the cool content that will follow up here on this channel. Thanks for your time. Keep capturing your amazing underwater adventures, and I will see you next Thursday.